Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeexx. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. What is up, ladies and fellas, and welcome back to Historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, and this time we are back with Strom of Ragnarok as well as Turbo Back Booster 4. And I vowed, not promised, but I vowed on the last one that I will actually start making these shorter, so I'm done reading every single card in the set breakdown, and we'll just say what the cards do, that the cards that are actually relevant. So with no stalling this time, let's get right to it. For this whirlwind, there is a synchro forest, but that's really notable. Double warrior is interesting because it gives you extension in terms of a level 2 body when you special summon a monster from your graveyard. We have some more black wings once again, and then Nordics are the big archetype here. I'm not gonna go too much more in depth. In them, they are unfortunately not a great archetype. It's basically 3 sub-archetypes into one, and there are Nordic Beasts, Nordic Alfar, and Nordic Ascendant, and they are basically they're all tied to summoning their respective Aether monsters, which represent the Nordic gods Loki, Thor, and Odin respectively. And we'll cover those when we get into them. The meat of the set is going to be the legendary Six Samurai though. So we encountered Six Samurai a little while back, but now with legendary Six Samurai is when Six Samurai actually gets pushed to being an incredibly powerful strategy. These cards just allow for incredibly good consistency due to having multiple cards that give you either draws or searches, and having multiple cards like Kizan or Kageki or Shinai, Mizuho that can just either spell summon themselves or spell summon more cards, so it just lends itself well for swarming as well. They also have powerful effects like Mizuho being able to attribute a 6 Samurai monster to pop a card on the field. Kagemusha is there to have a level 2 tuner for them, and Shin Squire works as their level 1 tuner. Karakuri and Scrapple and Watts also get more stuff here, as well as Symphonic Warriors. The 3 Acer monsters here are Thor, Loki, and Odin. I won't read them all in their entirety, but basically all of them share the effect where they're level 10s that take 1 tuner of their respective archetype, and then 2+ non-tuner monsters that can be generic. And they're all very big, and they all share the effect where if this face-up card you control was destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to a graveyard this turn, you can banish a tuner of their respective archetype once again to spell summon them from the grave, and then get a minor special effect. Thor inflicts 800 bird damage, Loki adds a trap from your grave to your hand, and Odin draws a card. And then they have their own respective effects on the field, where Thor negates monsters, Loki negates back row and specifically battle phase, and Odin makes itself unaffected by back row. Shin is the big 6-ham. Synchro will talk more about that since I know what I'm talking about, because I usually tend to do these back to back, so I know what I'm talking about in the deck breakdowns. I can talk more about that. Then Buredo, more Karakuri support, more extensive ways to go deeper into the deck. Atomic Scrapdragon and What Hydra, once again for those archetypes as well. Then we have a bunch of spell traps, mostly focused on supporting the archetypes in the set. I won't go too much into these since there are many powerful effects, but we'll probably see most of the relevant 6M stuff talked about in the deck building section anyway. Resonate engine there for resonators, but if you want to go for the RDA stuff. Forbidden Lands here obviously gives us access to Forbidden Chalice was the one that we had before. Forbidden are these like the quick play spells that have various effects that also alter monster attack values. Blackwings also get some more stuff here. And then otherwise I don't want to talk about these cards like more, because I feel like talking about specific cards here, it just prolongs the breakdown way too much. But I want to just say how funny it is that Gleipnir, the Feathers of Fenrir, is the Nordic decks search card, but it's a trap card for whatever reason, which makes basically no sense. We also have Tiki Curse and Tiki Soul here to summon these traps as effect monsters, and then you have varying effects of popping things with them. More stuff here, and then Maxi, one of the more controversial cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where during either player's turn you can send it from your hand to grave to then this turn each time your opponent special summons a monster, immediately draw a card. It's a 3 in the OCG, it's banned in the TCG, it's completely unlimited in Master Duel. It's very polarizing because obviously it's a way to combat combo strategies, but then when the combo deck combos off itself, and then you start your turn, and the first thing they do is fire a Maxi, that's when it gets awkward. And then once again we continue the trend of getting some dual terminal cards here. It still took me over 5 minutes to get through this, but I think we made it better than usual. But I think I'll just move more towards just literally introducing the archetypes, which was the initial plan in the first place, is just to introduce the archetypes and then like maybe highlight a couple of cards. But I think I'll transition more into that. Then TuP4 has actually a lot of powerful stuff. We have a specific archetypal cards here, but the individual powerhouse obviously being Tragodia. A Deep Sea Diva we don't really have a way to abuse, unfortunately, since we don't really have Sea Serpents here. Compulse, obviously basically evergreen, really good tool. Swallow Flip is quite specific, but for example, it could work against the Aether monsters when they are summoned from the grave with their own effects, then you can basically deal with them after their recursion. And the Dark Hole, especially good against Six Samurai, because Six Samurai obviously will be swarming the field quite effectively. But yeah, that is the sub breakdown. Still took me 7 minutes, but like I said, I think I'll move forward. Moving forward, I'll focus more on I'll talk about a few specific interesting cards, and then just mostly talk about, okay, these are the archetypes that actually get support there. Since most of the relevant and interesting stuff we'll talk about in the deck building section. Anyway, with all that being said though, I will see you there in the said deck building section next. So, I screwed up my segue. I don't have a way to end this now. Damn it.
Okay, Storm of Ragnarok. So first off, I made 5 different versions of this deck. One of them was like a weird chaos hero variant. Another one was it was a 60 card pile combining heroes, chaos, and 6 Sam along with trap cards. So I could use trap cards for synchro plays. And then there was the jank build, which was worms, heroes, and 6 Sam cards to prevent my de-incentivize 6 Sam cards from being played. And then the final one that we landed on was a Nordic 6 Sam package, basically. We put in the good Nordics that can summon Thor, and we put in 2 6 Sam cards plus some support cards to maybe turbo out some stuff. Like Sheehan specifically. But yeah, we put in Goldfax, the Nordic Beast, sorry. If your opponent controls a synchro monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So there's another card in this deck that special summons this card from the deck specifically, which is really good because it allows you to almost immediately go into a level 10 synchro. Kagamusha the 6 Samurai is a level 2 warrior tuner monster from the 6 Samurai archetype. I think we already... No, this is new. This is a new card. The effect is irrelevant. You will never use this effect. Don't care. You use it as a level 2 earth tuner. Then we have Kagegi. Kagegi has the effect of when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower 6 samurai monster from your hand. While you control a 6 samurai monster with a different name, this card gains 1500 attack. So basically, you summon Kageki, you summon Kagemusha, you make a level 5 synchro, and you get legendary 6 samurai Shien. Yep. Then we have Maxi. Maxi is going to be a format-defining card, a game-defining card, actually, if you will. Ooh, that was a mild spoiler. Don't look at that, guys. Don't look at that. The Maxi is a obnoxious as all hell card, which has the effect of during either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn, each time your opponent special summons a monster, immediately draw one card. You can only use one Maxi per turn. So your opponent activates legendary 6 samurai Kageki. You activate Maxi. They your Maxi resolves, their Kageki resolves, they summon Kagemusha the 6 samurai, you draw one card. Now if they do something else, like summon a Shien, you draw another card. And now let's say they had Gateway on the field and they added Kizan to the hand, they summon Kizan, you draw another card. And then you just gain an infinite amount of cards basically for each special summon that happens. At this point in time, it's already pretty good. It's already really strong when you consider the fact that a lot of the decks are just special summoning like 2 to 3 monsters per turn. And that's fine. That's a pretty good payoff. But later on, as I'm sure a lot of you might be aware, the game becomes entirely warped around special summoning in a way where turns can have up to 10 special summons. Separate special summons. Not summon 10 monsters at once or 5 monsters at once. 10 separate special summon instances. So yeah, Maxi can become a really big problem later. Or is going to become a really big problem later on. I'm tagged Njörster of the Nordic Beasts. When a monster you control is destroyed by balance into the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, when this defense position card on the field is changed to a face-up attack position, you can special summon one Nordic Beast monster from your deck in defense position, except tagged Njörster of the Nordic Beasts. So you summon Weebfox using this, for example, from the deck, or tag, and then you go into a level 10 synchro. If this card is stored by balance in the graveyard, you can special summon 2 Nordic Beast tokens, that are level 3 Beast Earth monsters. And you can use these tokens with Weebfox to go into a level 10 synchro. One of the advantages of the Nordic Ascendant. For a synchro summon, you can substitute this card for any one Nordic tuner. If this card is used as a synchro material, all other synchro materials must be Nordic monsters. Once per turn, you can send one Nordic monster from your deck to the graveyard. This card's level becomes the level of that monster until the end of this turn. So basically, you could have Vanities on the field, send Tag Nirizir or a Tag Njörster to the graveyard, and then become level 3. Doesn't matter. It's mostly here just for the fact that I can modulate its level, and it's another level 4 Nordic tuner that can do a lot of stuff. And it can also go into other cards because of the fact that you can modulate its level. Jeexx, I think we've seen this card before. It has the effect though when this card is... Wait, am I flipping? We've seen this card before, right? Wait, it was in Dual Terminal, right? I'm gonna double check because I feel like I've seen this card be played before. Yeah, it's in Dual Terminal 1. Yeah. Then we have Worm Sex. When this card is normal summon, you can send one reptile type worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you control a face Worm Dragon, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. Worm Dragon. The only monster you control is Worm Sex, you can special summon this card from the graveyard in face down defense position. If you do, remove it from play. Remove it from play when it is removed from the field. When this card is flipped face up, select one face up card your opponent controls and return to its owner's hand. Forbidden Chalice. Forbidden Lands and Forbidden Chalice are... I think we've seen Chalice already, but Chalice didn't have play before because it wasn't as relevant at the time. But now we have Lands and Chalice both. Chalice having the effect of target one monster on the field and gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated, and Lands having the effect of lose 800 attack but become unaffected by other spells and traps. So these are basically nuclear turrets. You activate Chalice, your opponent responds with Lands, and then, yeah. Or you activate Lands, and then you activate a Chalice, your opponent activates Lands, you activate a Chalice, and then the last Chalice resolves before the Lands, and so on and so forth. Then we have Shien Smoke Signal. Shien Smoke Signal adds a level 3 or lower 6 samurai monster from your deck to your hand, which is Kageki or Kagemusha, and 6 samurai united. Each time a 6 samurai monster is normal or special summoned, place one Bushido counter on this card. You can send this card to the graveyard to draw a card for each Bushido counter on this card. Gleipnir, which is just a searcher for Nordic cards. Leviathan, which is a spell speed 3, or was it spell speed 4? Split second though, I think. Like you can't target one face of monster on the field that destroyed a monster by battle this turn. Destroyed. Cards and effects cannot be activated in response to this card's activation. This card is okay. It's pretty good. It's the only way I could find of dealing with Shien without negating its effects. Grandmaster of the Six Samurai. I think we've seen this card already. You can special summon it when you have a Six Samurai on the field, and when it dies, you can return a Six Samurai master from your grave. Dies by a card effect, you can return it to your hand. Return a Six Samurai monster from your graveyard to your hand. Any Six Samurai monster, so even itself. Kizan special summons itself if you control a Six Samurai monster. It's basically Grandmaster, but younger. Tragoedia. Tragoedia is a card we've seen once already. When you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. Gain 600 attack for each card in your hand. Once per turn, you can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls with the same level as that sent monster. And in the hand, take control of the face-up monster. Once per turn, you can target one monster in your graveyard. This card's attack level becomes the same as that target's until the end of turn. Dark Hole. This is from Turbo Pack. Same Tragoedia. Gateway of the 6. I put a gateway in the side in case I decide to pivot into more 6-Sam heavy. Compulsory. This is also from Turbo Pack. Tyrant's Tirade, which is from the main set, which I figured could work to prevent Shien from being used. Should be 2 monsters. Effects of effect monsters that activate in the hand or on the field cannot be activated. Then we have Atomic Scrap Dragon, specifically for Scrap Dragon and Scrap Archfiend. Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. 1 warrior tuner, 1 non-tuner 6 samurai monster required. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, quick effect, you can negate the activation. And if you do, destroy it. If this card on the field would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can destroy another 6 samurai monster control instead. That is also important. This effect is a replacement effect, which means that instead of it being destroyed, you can destroy another card, which is not an effect that happens in response to something being activated or resolving. So when you use it, when Nordic Relic Leviathan is used, you can just destroy a card instead. Destroy another 6 Samurai instead of losing the Shien. Then we have Odin, Father of the Aesir. I don't really care about its effect, but it's an effect by spell traps. Once per turn, I can come back if you banish a Nordic Ascendant tutor, and when summon, you draw a card. It's not that important, but the main thing is that I can summon it using Vanitas. Scrap Archfiend, Vanilla. Scrap Dragon, pop 1 card of your own, pop 1 card of your opponent, 2,800 beat stick, a generic synchro. Level 8 Synchro. Stardust Dragon, generic level 8 Synchro, prevents destruction effects, can spell summon itself back. And then we have Thor, which is actually the main win con of the deck. Once per turn, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. Until the end of this turn, once per turn, during the end phase, if this face-up card you control was destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to your graveyard this turn, you can banish 1 Nordic Beast Tuner from your graveyard and special summon this card. If summoned this way, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. And then we have Vylon Delta to fill out a level 8 slot for a 2,800 beat stick. And no other, 2,800 defensive wall, I mean. And no other reason. And that about does it. I feel like this deck came out a lot better than I was expecting. Like I was originally, as you saw, really struggling to think of something that didn't contain heroes or even worked at all. I had multiple different ideas that I went through only to end up with possibly the weirdest fucking combination of cards I could have possibly made. But yeah, hopefully the games go well. So good luck with the games.
And welcome back, guys and gals, and here's what we are playing today. So yeah, it's a 6 Samurai deck. Wow, what a surprise. And the immediate thing that probably sticks out is the single copy of Gateway of the 6. So as we've established before, we don't do banlist in these since it's such a limited format. We can have some fun with the occasional banned cards. Sometimes we gentleman out of playing them like we did with Manage's Emptiness. But this time we decided that Gateway of the 6, since every time a 6-time is normal spell summon, you put 2 Bushido counters on this card, and for 4 counters, you can add a 6-time from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which means that if you have 2 of these, immediately whenever a normal summon or a special summon of a 6-time is conducted, that immediately gets you a search, and it just gets degenerate very fast, and we felt like 6-time is probably going to be very good even without having 3 gateways, so we just decided that, hey, rather just limit it to 1 for this, and we'll see how that goes. I still expect the deck is probably going to be fine. It's very strong for the time. But what we're doing with the deck, right off the bat, we have a single Weebfox of the Nordic Beast. The reason why this is here is because my extra deck was actually not too tight, so I could fit a Thor in there. And what's pretty nice about Weebfox in 6M is it being able to obviously spell summon itself means that you have a normal for something else. And Weebfox being a 4 means that something like a Shinai and Mizuha can make Thor with Weebfox. If we happen to open double Kageki, and which otherwise would obviously be really bad for those, we can use 2 Kageki to go into Thor with Weebfox. It has a decent amount of lines to go into Thor, and what Thor does, it takes a Nordic Beast tune and 2+ non-tuner monsters, and then once per day you can negate the effects of all face monster your opponent controls and at the end of the turn. And then it has the Aether effect where it can be revived during the end phase if it was sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card, or specifically destroyed and then sent to the graveyard this turn by banishing its respective tuner, which means Weebfox. And then when it gets summoned, it does a ton of burn damage, which is probably shouldn't matter. It's just a big body, and we happen to have a slot for it, so might as well throw 1 Weebfox in there. I'll try to be brief with this. I realize I already spent a lot of time at the very first card, because I did notice that my deck breakdowns have also gotten really long because I ramble a lot, so let's speed through it. Kagemusha is the other, also Weebfox gives us a much needed tuner, because otherwise we don't actually have many tuners here, and we do want to access our synchros. Kagemusha is our main tuner here. It's a level 2 6-am tuner, and during either player's turn, when a face-up 6-am monster you control is targeted by a spell trap or any card effect that could have targeted this, you can instead make it target Kagemusha. So it's kind of protection for your other 6-ams, which is nice. Probably not really relevant unless it's specifically to summon a already summoned Shien, because otherwise obviously you'd rather keep the tuner. And then the main way to get to Shien is with Kagemusha Kageki, which on normal summon spell summons a level 4 or lower 6-am from your hand. And then while you control a 6-am with different name, this card becomes a 1700 beat stick. So basically just Kageki and Kagemusha makes Shien for us, which is nice. 3 copies of Kizan. Kizan is a very big one, 1800, and becomes a 2100 beater when you control 2 other monster 6-ams with, in addition to Kizan, sorry. And Kizan can be spell summoned if you control a 6-am with different name. Then we have 2 copies of Enishi. Enishi is the normal, doesn't have a spell summon, it has to be normal summoned usually. And then once per day the other players, so you can banish 2 6-ams from your grave to target a face-up monster in the field and return it to the hand. But you also have to control a face-up 6-am with a different name from Enishi to activate it. And if you control 2 or more face-up 6-ams in addition to Enishi, it becomes a 2200 beat stick. Then we have 2 copies of Mizuha and a single Shinai. They can special summon each other, or they can special summon themselves if you control the other counterpart. And Shinai, if it's tributed on the field, you target a 6-am monster from your graveyard except itself, or its own name, and add it to your hand. And Mizuha can once per turn tribute another face-up 6-am to pop a card on the field, which is nice because you can pop anything. It doesn't have to only be monsters. Hand of the 6 Samurai. If you control another 6-am monster, you can tribute a 6-am to target a monster on the field and destroy that target. And the reason we are running this is because it's a 1600 attack for Asceticism. And Asceticism also works with a boosted Kageki to summon out Enishi. We'll cover what that does in a little bit. Then we have a single copy of Maxi and another in this side. This is mostly here because if Jeexx ends up playing 6-am, then Maxi is probably going to gain us a lot of value, but if he's not on 6-am, it's probably not the greatest, but it's still a crazy card, so you had to throw at least 1 copy in. 3 Shin Small Signal. It's a Rhoda for 6-ams, but limited to level 3 or lower. Then we have the field spell Temple of 6, where each time a 6-am is normal special summon, you place a Bushido counter on this card, and monsters your opponent controls lose 100 for each Bushido counter on this card. And it's important that the Bushido counters count for both players' 6-am summons usually, and not just your own. So if it ends up being a mirror, there are going to be Bushido counters flying left and right. The attack reduction isn't that important. It's mostly there so we have this as an additional way to get Bushido counters for to then use for something like Gateway. Then we have 2 Asceticism, where you target a 6-am monster you control and special summon a 6-am monster from your deck with the same attack but a different name, and if you do, destroy it during the end phase of this turn. And I already covered, we can use boosted Kageki to go into Inishi, we can use Mizuho and Hand of 6 Samurai to go into the other one. It's just overall very nice. We can even use boosted Kizan to go into Grandmaster. It's a pretty flexible card. And then we have 2 Forbidden Lands, which also gives us access to Chalice. You target a face monster on the field until the end of the turn. It loses 800 attack base, unaffected by the effects of other spell traps. There's a lot of good back row here, so being able to gain protection from those is very good. 2 Musakani Magatama. It's a counter trap, where when your opponent activates a spell or a trap or a monster effect that specifically destroys a card, then you negate the activation, and if you do, you destroy it. A single 6-strike Thunder Blast, we are running another one in this side, where you remove 1 Bushido counter from your side of the field, activate one of these effects, where you either target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it, or target a card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. It's pretty flexible, and only removing 1 Bushido counter is nice. It's a trap which makes it a little bit slow, but it's still nice to have, which is why we also have the additional one in this side. Oh yeah, we also have a 3rd Lance in the side that I forgot to mention when we were talking about that. Then for the stuff that we have with the Legacy rule, we have a single Great Shogun Xian, where if you control 2 or more face-up 6-am monsters, you can spell summon it from your hand, and your opponent can only activate 1 spell trap each turn. And it has protection where you can destroy a face-up 6-am instead if it would be destroyed. Important to note that the negate of the Xian Synchro doesn't lock your opponent with Xian, since Xian allows for 1 activation. If you negate the activation, then they don't obviously get it. 2 Grandmaster of 6-am, which you can only control 1 of, and if you control 6-am, you can spell summon this from your hand, and if it's destroyed in your possession by an opponent's card effect, then you can target a 6-am in your grave and add it to your hand, and importantly enough, it can add itself, which is kind of funny. But good extension there once again. Initiation's Chancellor can not be normal summoned or set, and must be spell summoned by banishing 2 6-ams from your graveyard instead. And once per turn, you can target a face-up monster and destroy the target, and Xian's Chancellor cannot attack the turn you do it. And then a single Xian Squire, which is a level 1 tuner, where during damage calculation in either player's turn, if a 6-am monster you control battles, you can send it from your hands or graveyard, and the monster cannot be destroyed by battle that turn. So, your 6-am monster. And very important here, Xian Chancellor and the tuner is the only way for us to go into Violent Delta, which is funny. Violent Delta is here mostly as a meme. And Violent Delta is also the reason why we're running a single Legendary Yvonne Steed. It's not very great, but imagine using Xian's Chancellor and Squire to pop something, then go into Delta, and then during the end phase we get to add Legendary Yvonne Steed. It would be very cool. I'll cover a Delta here already. It's a level 7, takes a tuner and non-tuner light monsters, which Xian Chancellor is the only real way for us to go into that. And if it's in face-up defense, but during your end phase, you can add a equipped spell card from your deck to your hand, which the only one we have is Ebon Steed. It's pretty funny. 3 6-am United, which is basically a pot of greed. Each time a 6-am is normal spell summon, you place Bushido counter on this card, and you can send this card to the graveyard to draw 1 for each Bushido counters on the card. And it can have a maximum of 2, which obviously draw 2 is, it's incredibly good. Gateway of the 6, probably don't have to talk about, but yeah. We already covered, unlike most of the other cards, that gains 2 Bushido counters on each summon. And with 2 counters, you can give a 6-am or a Xian effect monster 500 attack for the rest of turn. With 4 counters, which is what we're going to be using 99% of the time, we can add a 6-am from our deck to or the graveyard to our hand. And with 6, we can target a Xian effect monster in your graveyard and spell summon the target. And the only reason why we probably want to do that is to go into the Synchro, which I'll actually be honest, I'm not even sure if it works because the name is like this. It might be only able to revive Great Shogun Xian, but basically we are only we only care about this part here, so it doesn't even matter. 3 Forbidden Chalice. It's a quick play that gives a face monster on the field for an attack but negates its effects. This is basically here to deal with, well, monster negation is obviously good, so deal with anything Jeexx is doing. And then do double-edged sword technique where you target 2 6-time monsters in your graveyard and small summon those targets in attack position, and during the end phase of the turn you destroy them, and if you do, take damage equal to those destroyed monsters' attack. And importantly here, it's if you do, you take the attack, so unlike stuff like Power Bond, if you use them, you actually don't take the damage, which is nice. Kind of similar to this, we're running 1 Return of the Sixth Samurai, which only targets 1, and obviously therefore is worse. But sometimes we won't have 2, and depending on how game 1 goes, if I feel like I'm gonna have enough 6 hands in my grave, then I'll probably keep this, and if not, then I'll probably decide 1 or both of them out for maybe Return of the Sixth Sam. As for the side deck, we have a lot of cards from Turbo Pack 4 here, like Swallow's Flip, to negate the activation of an effect's monster effect that activates when it's special summoned. This is mostly here for Stratos, if Stratos finds a way to be specialed. And also, this is here to deal with if Jeexx is on the Acer package, they obviously all have an effect when summoned from the graveyard. This is a way to deal with them if someone from there. We already covered Thunder Blast. We've seen Compulse a million times already, obviously very good. We have a single Dark Hole, and we have 3 Trag that we've also seen before. Another Maxi, another Forbidden Lands. And then we have the 2 remaining cards are Cunning of the Sixth Samurai, which you send up a face up a 6-am monster you control the grave to target 1 6-am monster in either player's grave to special summon it. This is here. Basically, if Jeexx ends up playing 6-am as well, then we will sign into this in the mirror. And then if you control 3 or more face up 6-am monsters, you can activate one of these effects for triple impact, which is either you destroy all face up monsters your opponent controls, all face up spells traps your opponent controls, or set spell traps your opponent controls. 3 6-am is not the craziest to get on the board, but it's still a little bit tough. And mostly, I feel like we would only go into this if Jeexx ends up playing a super back row heavy package. As for the extra deck, I'll try to run through it really quick. I mean, we covered Lord of the Ace, Thor, Lord of the Ace here already. We cannot summon Scrap Dragon. It's only here to summon Scrap Dragon, which we've seen. Pop one of your cards and one of your opponent's cards. Complete generic level 8. Stardust we've seen a million times as well, another generic level 8. We have a level 7 in Scrap Archfiend, because we have quite a few lines to actually go into. Scrap Archfiend with stuff like Kagemusha as well as Grandmaster, or stuff like Goldfax and Kageki. It's just there as a big dumb beater, and then the main synchro that we're going to be going for most of the time is Shien, a level 8. That takes a warrior tuner and 1+ non-tuner 6-am monsters, and once per turn when your opponent activates a back row, you can, as a quick effect, negate the activation and destroy it. And then it has the CN protection, where if it would be destroyed by a battle or card effect on the field, you can instead destroy another 6-am you control. So yeah, that's what we're working with here. I feel like this is one of the more powerful decks that we played in a long time. It's Six Samurai for the time is insane. Like, especially like at this point in time, people were able to run a triple gateway, and it was just completely busted. But I feel like even with one gateway, having access to all the legendary Six Samurai as well as the powerful interruption like Forbidden Lands, Forbidden Chalice, and even Musagani Makatama and Thunder Blast, I just feel like this deck is just the complete package. And then, like, even post-siding, we have even stuff like Compulse and Trag. And the one thing, if Jeexx ends up playing, because I'll peel back the curtain a little bit, he's been talking that he's made some interesting deck. And given the context of the set, like, there is a chance that he ends up playing Nordics, and I think it would be so funny, because all the Acers are level 10s. If you happen to have 2 Trag, and we can summon a Trag and discard Trag for a Trag to take one of his Acer monsters, I feel like that would be hilarious. But all that being said, it still ended up being over 15 minutes. I am sorry, these were, I feel like most of these cards were new to us, so that's why I ended up talking more. So even if I just simply stated the effects, it still ended up being a long one. So I apologize, but yeah, I do promise that I'll keep these more concise in the future, as well as these set breakdowns. So you don't have to fall asleep when you're listening to these. But hopefully you enjoyed the deck breakdowns anyway, and I will see you in the dueling zone next. What is up, ladies and lads, and welcome back to Historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey. And this time we are back with Storm of Ragnarok as well as Turbo Pack 4. So, and a couple last times we talked about, like, yeah, the power level isn't too crazy. There's a lot of power in Storm of Ragnarok, and let's just say that it's not the namesake card on the cover card of this set. But what do you think, Jeexx, and how do you feel about the set today?
I feel like I'm the storm that is approaching once again, but I fear that Ragnarok is just around the corner.
I feel like
I
the
did
ones
not-
where you need two separate ones, like one for each, like it's painful.
Yeah, I
But-
feel like it just doesn't work out usually, especially this time because I couldn't figure out a way to incorporate Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I already used the storm that is approaching, and I realized it mid-sentence. So
That's fair,
unfortunate.
but usually we prattle on for quite a while before we start recording. But today, little birdie told me that you've cooked up something very interesting, so I was very eager and excited to actually just get to see what that is. So I'm very excited. I've heard that Jesus cooked up something crazy for today, but what is not
Yeah.
crazy is what the coin flip told me. I think that's 6 in a row now. That is tragic.
Hell mega heck yeah.
But okay, best of luck, gamer.
Good luck, good luck. Ah, astonishing. Truly, truly astonishing. I would like to set 4
That's the way to
and
start the game.
pass.
That is a way to play the video game, I guess.
And now, when you go into your standby phase, I activate Gleipnir, the Fetters of Fenrir. And I will add from my hand.
Plays a Nordic Jank. That's funny.
Why can I not? There we go. I will add to my hand.
Which one is it going to be?
I add to my hand tag Nuster if the website will function.
Oh, wow, we're too early, Dueling Bogus.
Yeah, there we go.
Alright, so.
Continue.
Interesting. Alright,
When a monster control is destroyed by battle.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I think I will start by firing off a 6M United.
Yep.
And I'll follow that with a Sheen's Smoke Signal.
Yep.
And using that, I will add to my hand. This is actually interesting. Well. I'm going to see a 3. This is a hard pick, actually. I think I will go for a...
Yes.
Which I can since it's a level 4, so, you know, let me actually
Yes.
put that
Having
back.
level 4s. Once again, yeah.
And I will instead go for...
Kagemusha, the 6M.
Yes.
Hey.
Then...
I wonder, would you happen to have a Kageki in your hand?
I happen to have some back row that I would like to set, and then I will pass.
Hell yeah. I would like to activate in my hand Sheen's Smoke Signal
Yep.
to add to my hand This is so jank. Oh my god, I need to check something before I do that.
Go for it.
Uh, yeah, that doesn't work. I mean, that would work. That would be kind of good, though. That would be kind of good. That would be spicy as fuck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to add to my hand, uh, Kageki.
Yep.
Then I would like to set a monster face down and pass.
Alright. I will draw. Stand by main.
I fear.
I will simply pass.
I fear. I would like to set one card,
Mm-hmm.
mayhaps.
Now would you?
I will set one card and pass.
And this is a way to get to a level 10 as well, you know? I'll set a 5th back row and I will pass.
I go standby, main.
Yep.
I activate Shin Smoke Signal.
Yep, go ahead.
I will add to my hand
Kagemusha?
Kagemusha of the Six Samurai.
Yeah.
And I will normal summon Kageki from my hand.
Yep.
And I would like to activate the effect of Legendary Six Samurai Kageki to special summon from my hand a Six Samurai monster that is level 4 or below.
Yep. I
Okay,
will add
that
a
is okay.
counter on my United.
You will get 2.
And then I'll add the second one.
Yes, and then I would like to
Make
synchro
sure.
summon into Sheet N.
Yep.
Is this acceptable?
Sure.
Then I would like to double check rulings.
Go ahead.
Because I need to be certain about this specific interaction. I'm pretty sure it's correct, but just in case, just in case.
What did checking? Something to do
just
with
in case
United?
this one specific card. No.
Gotcha.
Another card that I have face down.
Gotcha.
I would like to flip summon. Tag Gesture of the Nordic Beasts to trigger its once per turn effect, where when this defense position card on the field is changed to face up attack position, I can special summon one Nordic Beast monster from my deck in defense position.
Yep.
It is acceptable.
Yep.
I would like to special summon Guildfax.
Yep.
Of the Nordic Beasts.
And
then I would like to flip summon Tag of the Nordic Beasts.
Yep.
And I will synchro summon using Guildfax, using Tag Nurser, and Tag Yoster into
I
Thor,
wonder what.
Yeah, Lord of the Aesir.
One thing that you can make. Yep.
And then I will simply go into battle phase.
Yep.
Attack directly.
Yes.
And attack directly.
Yes.
And then I will pass.
All right. That's so funny.
I actually got it. I can't believe it.
You did.
I was thinking you would pop my shit way earlier, so.
Well, I would like to draw to you with United.
Go for it. Just pot of green. Actually, can I? No.
Oh.
No, I can't. I was double checking something.
Yep. Well, then. This is interesting now. Does that?
I love going -3 for a big body. Holy shit.
I mean, in this case where I'd be drawing nothing but brick one-offs, I don't think it's too bad.
How?
I think I've drawn every one-off in my deck except for one, which is pretty funny.
Which is Anishi, right?
Mm, mm, mm. This is so awkward. Is the problem that I'm facing here.
Would it be funny if the first game went like this, and then the next two games went with me breaking on every single piece of shit card that I had in my deck, and you just got gateway every time?
It would be pretty funny. I
It would be
think
appropriate too.
it's so strange, but I do think it's what we're gonna do. I would like to attempt to activate Gateway of the Six. Is that okay?
Let me think.
Yep.
So, reasonably, gateway of the six here with any 2/6 samurais that can special summon each other. Like, let's say you have one Kizan, one Kageki, even that's like perfectly fine already. You get one other Kizan in hand, you get 3 on board. That doesn't really do anything for you right now, but with a Kizan, you can use a Forbidden Lance on Shien, and that can be kind of dangerous. You can even use 2 of them on Thor. No, you can't. Never mind. That's impossible. You can't use 2 of Forbidden Lance on a card because you can't have it stack, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one of them will resolve, and then when the other resolves, it doesn't matter because it's unaffected
Yeah.
at that point.
So in that sense, Thor would be safe if I was stupid and I was ignoring the fact that Gateway of the Six has the effect of target 1/6 Samurai monster or Shien effect monster and give it 500 attack, which would make the Kizans big enough to swing over Thor if you use Forbidden Chalice on them, which would be dangerous. But I can negate the Chalice and I can negate the Lance.
Yep.
But this is your one-off.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah,
presumably...
we forgot to mention at the start, but we agreed on, since obviously 2 Gateway is just an immediate infinite. It doesn't make for interesting gameplay. And although like obviously banned cards are banned cards because they're broken, it in the past it hasn't like made for such a degenerate thing. So we just agreed to play Gateway as a one-off. So yeah.
I think this is legitimately a tough decision because if you think about it, negating Gateway when I know it's a one-off is a huge win. It's just like, oh fuck, I get rid of Gateway. But if you're baiting me to like with Gateway here, then it's really smart because I don't know what else you could have in hand. I know that you have a, which one did you add again? You had Kagemusha, right?
Kagemusha.
Yeah, you
Kagemusha
added
is the only card
Kagemusha,
you know in
so
my hand.
if you normal summon Kagemusha and you special summon Kizan, then you add Kizan, you can make a level 10 with that. I don't think there's a level 10 you can actually play, but you can make a level 10 with that. And there's also asceticism I have to keep in mind. You could have Shinai and Mizuho. If you have Shinai in hand and Kizan in hand, you can go into Mizuho, and Mizuho can then pop something.
I
And
always
you
do
also
appreciate you giving me a lot of credit when you're thinking what I'm doing. Like, I do
think,
appreciate that. But yeah.
like, I legitimately think I should negate this, but I'm afraid. What if you have some bullshit lined up? What else could you even have? Oh, fuck. Fuck. Like, if I negate this here, you don't get to search after your 2 summons, which is massive, because that just means that you're completely shit out of luck in that sense. But if you have something like Magical Stone Excavation through some magical bullshit that I don't know about, and you just discard 2 to add it back before you do that, holy fuck. You're a genius. For cheating at me. I'm negating it.
You would like
I'm
to
negating.
use Shin's Effect. Alright.
I would like to use Shin's Effect.
I will Chalice Shin.
Okay, that's straight up like the thing that was gonna happen no matter what happens.
Yeah,
At some point during this
that's
turn.
why it was
But like,
kind of funny to me. Like we're going so deep on this. It's basically like the end result would have been mostly the same. But yeah, Xian gets 200 for the rest of the turn.
400.
Yeah,
big damage. Holy
big
shit.
29. But yeah, gateway is here. Then
Yeah.
I would like to special summon from my hand a Weebfox.
Oh shit! It's Weebfox.
Then I would like
My
to normal
boy.
summon Kageki and get 2 counters on gateway.
Okay.
And using Gakegi, I would like to special
I
summon.
would like to respond to Kageki's
Sure.
effect. I would like to activate Forbidden Chalice on Kageki.
In response to that, I would like to lance my own Kageki.
Yeah.
And then I will use Kageki to get a Kagemusha. Is that okay?
That is okay.
And then, surprise, surprise, we will use 4 counters. And we will get a 6-hand from my deck. Is that okay?
Yep, that is okay.
And 4. Now this is where it gets interesting. What do I want to get? Sure, I think that's the play. I'll get keys on to hand.
Yep.
Then I would like to special summon said keys on.
Yep.
Get 2 more counters on gateway. And then this is where this gets spicy. Still have the back row, which is scary. The thing I was also like pondering a little bit on my stuff is like the 400 extra attack on Xian actually is really awkward for me.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem now. But you have to keep in mind, Gateway of the 6 gives you 500 attack. But
yes. I would like
it
to.
shouldn't be a problem.
I would like to use these two to go into Xian, which actually I think I'll get here because there's one of the decks where it's actually might. It doesn't matter. The space doesn't matter, but I might actually need the extra space. Is that okay?
That is okay.
I will get 2 more counters.
And you would like to search for?
And yeah, I will take those away, and I will go to my deck, and I will search for a Mizuho.
Okay.
Then I would like to activate Double-Edged Sword Technique.
Okay.
And I only have 2 targets. So both of those get specialed in attack. Is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
I will get 4 total from this to gateway. I will immediately use those 4. And I will grab a Shinai to hand.
Yep.
Then this gets interesting. I think what I will do.
Scrap Dragon time, baby.
I'm thinking of it. I think it is the I wish I had a slightly different line, but actually, could I have done that? Yeah, no, I could. Okay, never mind. I will go for a Scrap Dragon using Weebfox and Keyson.
Yep.
And we will get Scrap Dragon. Is that okay?
That is okay.
Unfortunately, that doesn't give me stuff for Gateway, which I personally
Luckily,
think that it should.
I don't think it should.
Now the problem is the Thor is big, like absolutely massive.
I would also like to point out Thor has a recursive effect.
Yeah, I
where
mean
if
that's
I
the
banish-
problem because the thing is, like, if he didn't have that's why I mean, like, the him having the recursion by banishing Gold Fox is what makes it problematic. Like, he's big, because obviously otherwise I could just pop it with Scrap Dragon and forget about it.
Yeah.
But that's the big problem here, that he will most certainly come back. I'm also quite worried what your set card is. Wait, I'm a fucking moron. Thank God I read this now. I forgot that I cannot read cards. I would like to special summon from my hand Great Shogun Shien, since I control 2 or more face-up 6M monsters. Now, unfortunately, it's not a 6M, so it doesn't give me stuff on Gateway. But
Time
still.
to double check something.
Oh.
Double checking something real quick, just in case.
Sure. Would it even... Yeah, no, it wouldn't. I was gonna say, like, would it even matter here if it gave me stuff on Gateway, but here I don't think it would. Now the problem here... I'm just thinking something. I think it's the right play. These are gonna go away anyway. I will synchro using Kagemusha and Kageki. And I'll just go for another Shien. Get 2 more counters. And then I will use these 2 to overlay into a rank 5 XEs.
Ah, yes. To get rid of your spell trap negates, yes. This is a well thought out plan, evidently.
Yes. It's so fucking funny that, like, how hard Thor is making my life. It's so silly. Thor is during the end phase, but the problem that I'm facing here is that that's set. You didn't use it for synchro plays, and that's the set that you set on literally turn 1. So I'm not thinking, like, if it's some flip stuff that gets rid of my shit, that's gonna be very annoying. I think this is, I mean, I need to burn that anyway, so might as well do this now. Fuck. Does it matter which one of these? don't think it matters. Yeah, I'm using the effect of Scrap Dragon.
Yep.
And I'm gonna... Actually, wait. Wait, that actually... That's so funny. Yeah, you know what? We'll activate Legendary Ebon Steed.
Holy shit!
And I'm targeting, let's say, this Xian. But then I'm using Scrap Dragon to pop my Ebon Steed. And then pop Thorn.
Okay.
Thor. Then I need to deal with it anyway, and I need to cash in my damage here. So if the set is some flip bullshit that it most likely is, we'll just deal with it, and we'll use my last remaining corners on a gateway of the 6 to give my a great Shogun Xian 500 points.
500 points!
And we'll go battle phase. Is this okay?
This is okay.
Then I would like to start by swinging over your Xian for 100.
Okay.
And then... What is this?
I will flip up.
Yeah.
Come on!
Yep.
And I would like to activate the effect of Jagan to bounce a card on your side of the field. I would like to bounce.
Synchros, I assume.
Shogun Xian.
Interesting.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
This returns.
And then Jagan dies.
Yep.
And now I will activate Nordic Relic Leviathan to pop your legendary 6 Samurai Xian that destroyed Jagan by battle. And you cannot negate this effect. You cannot respond to this effect outside of replacement effects. We've been talking! This is why we're playing Nordics, guys! To use the light!
Sure. I mean, yeah, I got nothing since it can't be responded to. And it's specifically the one that destroyed.
That destroyed by Balia, so you can still attack.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, there's the if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you destroy another, but even that, like, wouldn't matter.
No, that works. That's a replacement effect.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I know it works because it's a replacement, but I mean, like, it doesn't matter because it's the one that already attacked, and obviously I want my damage, so it doesn't matter here. Yeah. So, yeah, that goes.
So the big scary part about this was if you happen to keep Kizan and Kageki on the field. And then 20.
Yeah, because
there we go.
And then we'll go main 2, and
you can no longer summon Great Shogun Xian because you destroyed one of them.
Oh, so what'd you say? Was it since I don't have enough? Yeah. I was wondering, like, why would you bounce that in?
Because I can't use Leviathan if you have Great Shogun Xian on the field because I activated Chalice earlier this turn.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes a lot more sense. But now, everything should... Basically, I bagged it like, no, I'm praying you don't get stuff because, okay, Thor hits the field, I get bird for 800, it beats over my... either one of my things. Even if it beats over Xian, I will be at 200 life points. And if it beats over Scrap Dragon, then I'll be at 500. And I have one more turn to cook up something. I'm sorry that it took a lot. That took a long while, but we had some thinking that we needed to do. But before we go into your turn, I assume you want to banish Gold Fox and get Thor back.
Yeah.
And yeah, I take 800 here.
800, yeah. And then...
Imagine if Thor... Okay, if Thor was released today, it would also have 2 more effects. But imagine if the negate all your opponent's cards was on either player's turn. Like, this card would actually be insane.
Fucking sick, honestly.
But now I'm basically just banking on you not having something to get rid of the other synchro or burn me for 200.
I mean,
Bro can't play his legendary armaments with Infernoble, so he's playing Nordic, so he can play legendary armaments like Levitain.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well,
Now it's your turn to think.
there's not really much to think about in this case.
Oh.
That's kind of the problem. Uh, There's also one thing here that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this card called Forbidden Lands.
Yes.
So even if I want to get rid of Scrap Dragon here, you can still flip over Forbidden Lands and target my Thor, and that can win you the game.
Mm-hmm. It's it's so funny that like the earlier play was literally okay by 100, but like that is also it's literally 100 point difference at that point.
Yeah.
But this is it's a very hard decision for you for sure. I don't know either of the
I
cards
don't
in your
think it
hand, right?
matters. No.
Yeah.
I don't think this turn actually matters at all, because I lose either way if you have lands, so I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna swing Fang news into this guy, and then I lose 1.3 thousand life points.
Yep.
Dude, can this website please let me use Control A? And then I special summon 2 tokens in defense position, and then I attack into the Scrap Dragon, and you flip over Forbidden Lands, and that's GG.
Yeah, Scrap Dragon is gone.
Hey.
And I take 700.
Yeah. Now, if I happen to have any of the forbidden spells myself, this would have been perfect. Why is this website mad? Yeah, I just have to pass.
Yeah. I draw standby my well, the draw is dead, if that makes you feel any better. But you do know
It
that
doesn't
I
matter. You have
these
Mizuho
things in my
Shimon.
hand, so yeah, I will. No,
You can
Mizuho.
destroy 3 cards on the field, and then you
2.
still have enough to attack.
I'll
It doesn't matter.
G9, yeah. And I also have the Shogun that also gets the summon. So
Yeah.
you were cooking though. I was really worried after drawing all my basically dead one-offs at the start. But you know, 6M is still 6M, and one gateway is all it takes. I think that was some nice back and forth though, and now this is where it gets interesting after deciding from Turbo Pack. So let's go side for game 2. Okay, a lot of thinking, but I think this is it. There are a couple things here that I don't like, but it's the deck space is just so tight that it's hard.
Alrighty then,
luck.
chat room. I will activate Qian's smoke signal, and I will add to my hand the same thing that we added before. We're gonna add to our hand Kageki.
Yep.
And then I will set to pass.
Oh, only 2.
Only 2.
Interesting, interesting. Well, I think I will do a Shion smoke signal of my own. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And using that, we will go into a Kageki of our own. Then we will use normal summon Kageki to get oh.
Would like to respond.
Yep.
By negating the Kageki.
Yep, that's fine. Then we will special summon a Kizan.
Yep.
Then we'll special summon a Kizan.
Yeah.
And alright, so Kizans are 2100 and a Kageki is 17. Doesn't matter if it's the fucking worm. The worm was 1800 I mean, I don't. The few hundred damage shouldn't matter that much anyway, so I'll just swing with Kizan first.
I will flip it up. Worm Dragon.
Yeah.
I will target the Kizan. How does this work?
Oh yeah, wait, I can.
Wait, when is it already destroyed?
Wait, which one?
Because it's gonna be equal after I bounce the Kizan.
Oh, what do you mean?
Because you're gonna lose 300 attack bonus.
I control. Oh wait, yeah, two actually. Oh yeah, but wait, because yeah, flips when it's destroyed, flips resolve in the grave, right? Am I crazy?
That's the thing. They don't resolve in the grave. They resolve when they get flipped face up,
Oh wait,
but they're
oh yeah,
destroyed when they're flipped face up.
yeah, it has to be destroyed already, because yeah, okay, then it doesn't matter, because like
Okay.
stuff otherwise, obviously stuff like we talked about this like with some of the flips like penguin soldier, because obviously if it wouldn't be destroyed already, the penguin soldier could flip and return itself and one of your opponent's things, so yeah, it's gonna be destroyed anyway. Okay, yeah.
Let me check. Before damage calculation, if the monster is being attacked, if the monster being attacked is face down, flip it face up. Then cards or card effects that modify attack or defense can activate if the monster has a trigger effect that activates by being flipped face up. It does not activate yet. That's before damage calculation.
Mm-hmm.
And when does it? If a monster was determined to be destroyed by a battle during the damage calculation, send it to the graveyard first. That's the end of the damage step. So we're at before damage calculation, which means Jugan has not been destroyed yet. Wait. Trigger effects that activate by being flipped face up, or monsters flipped face up before damage calculation happen here. We were, bro. This the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh. I hate this game so much sometimes. When discard battles or is attacked, effects that activate when battle damage is taken or when you take damage. Oh, I can't. If a monster is determined to be destroyed by battle during the damage calculation. So it would happen during damage calculation. So if the effect happens when it's flipped face up, it happens before damage calculation.
So what you mean?
It should bounce Kizan, and then Kizan loses the attack, and then it's even.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll just make this easier for us.
Yeah.
And, I'll, I'll
Yeah.
negate the effect. And then we'll just swing for. Oh, I mean, Akage first and then Kizan. Actually, would it matter? Yeah, it would, because Tragodia would be too big, so yeah.
Bro!
What are you gaining life points for, man?
Because I pressed A. No fucking hell. I fucking hate this website sometimes, dude. I pressed Control A to remove all the because I typed one number wrong. I was like, fuck, I'll just Control A. And goes into the chat box. Can someone fix this fucking website, dude? Oh, wait, fuck. I forgot to do this.
It's weird that. Yep.
Yeah.
It's weird that it works that way, because, like, then that would. Logically, then Penguin Soldier should be able to flip itself back up. But I guess it's just like attack values work a different way.
So weird, because it doesn't trigger effects that activate by being flipped face up. Of monsters flipped face up before damage calculation happening. Oh no, never mind.
Did you lie to me?
Wait, no, but if the monster being attacked is face down, flip it face up, then cards or effects that modify attack and defense can activate.
Yeah,
if the monster has a trigger effect that activates,
it's a static
it does
effect.
not activate. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, never mind. I'm fucking stupid.
So basically, everything else happens, but I just still have my chalice.
Yeah.
So basically, what you mean is
except one card gets bounced.
Yeah, my Kizan is in my hand, and
Bro.
So you take only the you gain 2100. And you now have the knowledge of what my set is, because you're a lying piece of shit. And
Now you know I have
Trag.
Trag!
You're not summoning Trag here?
No!
Well, that just means you're a
Wait,
fucking
wait.
dumbass.
No, fucking... I do have to summon Drag, don't I?
It's when you take battle damage.
No, I have to summon Drag, because if I don't summon Drag right now, then I can't ever use it effectively ever again in this entire duel, because you're gonna just have Kizans up.
Probably.
Bro.
This dude is lying to me to gain knowledge of my background, but
Bro.
what playing against Sam does to a mofo, I see how it is. Anyway,
Yeah, I think you should eat shit and die.
you summoned Sheehan first last game. You started
Yeah,
it.
and? Yeah, and?
Fuck you.
I didn't use Gateway.
Fuck you. Anyways, continue with your
let's
turn.
think.
Cheating ass.
This sucks.
Old cheating ass.
Old cheating ass motherfucker. Fuck you. In particular. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
What if I
Discarded a card.
What if I attacked into the Kageki in this situation? What would you do?
What do you mean? What I would do?
What would you do?
What the fuck do you want me to do? Obviously, Kageki dies, and then I take 100. What the fuck do you want me to do?
You have answers to this.
Negate my own fucking negate your Trigonia, so your Trigonia dies and you take 1300.
Yes, and then my Tragodia is gone, and then
You're
I don't have
a
anything.
fucking psychopath.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's honestly over at this point because I have to set shit. That's kind of what I mean. Because if I attack into it and I use cards from my hand, I lose out on the attack power of the Tragodia.
You know I have Kizan in my hands, so like if I get any normal summonable 6M, Kizan is gonna be bigger than Trug anyway, so at that point it doesn't really matter. So
but that's what I mean. Like, you know the fact that I have Tragodia and I have 3 cards in hand, and if any of them happen to be Chalices or Lances, I can activate them, but I lose 600 attack on top of the attack that I'm already giving the monster or giving my Tragodia. Mm-hmm. So using...
Oh. Hello? Oh no.
Your phone decided to disconnect.
Oh, okay. I was so worried because for context, Jeexx had multiple blackouts yesterday. And I was so worried, like, no way they're still coming back. But yeah, I think we're good. Oh, I hear myself. Oh no.
There we go.
Oh.
It should be fine now.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now we're back. Nice. Okay.
So the basic gist of the thing was, if you kill Trag there, no matter what happens, like, it's basically the equivalent situation, except that I now have 0 cards on the field.
Yeah.
And if you use the Chalice on the Trag, it loses all the attack.
Yes, and then it's just 400. But yeah, it's since I will most likely have means to deal with the Trag anyway, I think it's better for me to just save the Chalice. Well, I would like to spell summon Kizan. Normal summon Kagamusha. What were your sets and the cards in your hand?
It's 2 quick plays and a Kageki.
Huh. Yeah, that's not great. They wouldn't have access to go into, but I basically wanted to just go, just go big swings and see what happens. Also, I had a
6M players don't have rights, guys.
I have Forbidden Chalice, which and then I had Musakani Magatama that I drew.
Yeah.
But yeah.
6M players don't have rights. We should all band together to end 6 Samurai players as a whole. Blackwing players don't have rights either, by the way. We gotta end Blackwing players and 6 Samurai players both. They are oppressive fucking pieces of shit that make the game infinitely worse.
You know how context changes, like the way words are deciphered and the words are taking a lot, and like when you say something in like a random scenario, it's probably gonna have way more effect and meaning than if you do say the exact same take in a situation where you just lost to the thing that you complain about. You know, it's like if you.
By the way,
Oh.
after this, 6M gets gateway to 1 and eventually it gets banned. And then Blackwing's good, but then Blackwing gets shit on because Blackwing stuff gets limited. Because Blackwing and 6M were like menaces around this period of time after like Plant Synchro. And then Plant Synchro started to get kind of good. And then Plant Synchro gets limited. So, you know, maybe there's a little bit of a precedent for why 6M players should be shot in the head.
Okay.
Konami agreed. Konami agreed.
Alrighty. Yeah, my takeaway here is that your ass, you're garbage, kid. Eat shit, you lost 2-0 again.
Dang, guys, I can't believe it. My cool deck failed to do the
my,
cool thing.
My cool deck running some Shin smoke signals and making Shin and I feel I'm happy that we saw an AZ monster hit the field. Oh, by the way, I was also playing Thor.
Hell yeah.
I just had
you have Guildfax. So
yeah, I had a one-off Guildfax, which were literally they're like, I mean, maybe I have a let's go into Mizuho Shinai and have a Guildfax. So if I don't have a situation where I need the pops, I can just make Thor, or maybe I have like extra Kageki, like I happen to open extra Kagekis and 2 Kagekis and Guildfax can make it, and there's like space in my extra anyway. I was running 3 Xian, 3 Scrap Archfiend, 3 Scrap Dragon, 3 Stardust, a single Violent Delta that I can mate with exactly what was it not Grandmaster, the fucking Xian's Chancellor, and a level 1, which is the ape that I actually sided out of, which I was also running at 1 copy, so basically couldn't make Delta here. And then I just had a atomic Scrap Dragon just so I can play Scrap Dragon and then the one of Thor.
Bro was for real playing fucking Violent Delta with 1 line into it.
Imagine though if I get the fucking ape, the Chancellor, and I get Chancellor on the board, I pop something on your board, and then since I use it to go into Delta, I have a big wall, and then during the end phase, I get Ebon Steed in my hand, and I'll filter my deck. It would be so cool. You're not the only one doing like cool shit here, you know, but
there is nothing cool about a player who is currently playing multiple one-offs in his deck while playing 6M because he can filter through every single 6M in his deck.
I hear a whole lot of yapping is what I hear here.
Bro, I was playing 3 copies of everything other than Maxi, Kagemusha, and Guildfox in my deck.
Whole lot of yapping, a lot of yapping, salty tears, and eat shit. Get good, kid. You're not on my level. Anyways.
Hey, you wanna do a match of Noble Knights versus Photons real quick?
So my apologies, gamer. I only play good formats. Not
yeah.
Bullshit.
It's okay. I understand that you can't handle Maruyuki.
Who can?
Can't just gateway your problems away. Can't just gale into Bora them away.
Alright, we need to get out of here before people think that you're actually serious with all this salt. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I mean, I think it was pretty clear to obviously I wasn't very proficient in Paladin deck, but even like with a lot of thinking, like you can see how just insane amount of things 6M can do, and it just the archetype for the time was it was crazy.
The consistency offered by Sheena Smoke Signal and Gateway of the Six is insane. Especially when you consider the reality that people had 3 Gateway in their deck, so you could open Gateway fairly consistently. On top of the fact that you also have a Pot of Greed in your deck that just basically facilitates your playstyle even further. And then if you happen to have the Pot of Greed at the same time as a Gateway, you can arguably have a infinite amount of counters that you can just produce out of having 2 Shinai or a Shinai, 2 Mizuho. And you just loop these over and over, and it's just endless.
Yeah, and you also have stuff like Asceticism of this exam to get stuff out of your deck, as well as the double-edged sword technique, cutting off the six samurai, and then there was like six samurai's return for like a ton of recursion. It just like
Yep.
the deck just had really good punching power. It was really consistent because all of these filtering options. It was really tenacious because all of the ways to actually recur stuff. Everything, almost everything, could special itself out. So you did like really got clocked in to okay, just summon a monster pass, and also Shen is a really good monster to have because locking essentially not locking, but being able to negate 2/3 of the card types in the game, and especially like when the like spells are so insanely powerful on a super easy to summon body is just it's pretty good. It just
Yeah.
6M was just a full package and basically just had no weakness, and there's a reason why they got hit really hard and remained like a top strategy regardless for such a long time.
Yeah. Like, I think it's important to note that in Magic the Gathering, there is a specific point in time when effect text on monsters or creatures start to overtake like effect text on spells. And we're currently at like the midpoint of that, like for Yu-Gi-Oh. Like this is around the time when like monsters start getting stronger and start having more effects and let you do more stuff. But still, the main form of like playmaking, play starting and whatnot was kind of reliant on you having spells to make it more consistent or even just go into it. Like synchros kind of skipped the entire like you have to use spells to make fusions or rituals, which were never really good because you needed to have spells for those. But even for synchros, you need certain spells to have consistency. You need to have solar recharge. You need to have charge the light brigade. You need to have Rhoda. You need to have removal spells as well, and so on and so forth. And Sheehan just goes like, nah, you ain't playing this game. And not only that, you get to have two of them if you want to, or three of them if you want to.
Yeah,
A
and
soft once per turn, 2/3 of the game is gone. Have fun with that.
yeah, and even like just looking at this, like the amount of impact that Forbidden Lands and Chalice had is crazy, and like we didn't
Yeah.
even get to see like what was in Turbo Pack for like stuff like Dark Hole and Compulse being there. We basically, if you want to get rid of Shien protecting a board, you basically need to have two removal tools because you, if you just send a Dark Hole, okay, I'm negating it, you protect the board, and now you're stuck. So you need to have a way to negate or deal with the Shien or threaten something enough that they use the negate for something else, and then use another card to actually deal with the board.
Yeah.
It was
And
just
I
so
think it's
good.
also really important to note that Lance just basically going, I don't really give a fuck about what you're doing right now. I'm just gonna activate Lance on Sheehan. Now Sheehan's smaller for this turn, but I can still negate shit and you're targeting just like with Poof.
Yeah,
Your card didn't do anything. I just you go you trade one card for another card, and then on top of that, your opponent will now have to deal with the Sheehan still that is currently on board. And then you kind of scramble to figure out a solution that doesn't require a spell or trap, because your opponent still has the negate. And on top of that, if your opponent has a Shogun, you're just locked. You
yeah,
just used your thing, and your opponent used a lance on it, and you can't do anything anymore.
yeah.
Pass. Go next. And it's so toxic for the time period because there's really like, imagine this. Imagine we have Naturia in this set as well. You know what you have? Like you have a Earth Tuner in your deck, and I think Elder. Yeah, you need Asceticism and Elder and Kagemusha for Naturia Beast.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what the fuck? How is this deck so good and so consistent and have so many good lines into all the good common synchros at this point? It's actually insane.
This has a lot of like swarming and recursion too. Like a Notorious 6 like wouldn't be too out there. Like if you just put out a tribute fire for something like Bamboo Shoot.
No, but Bamboo Shit has to be tributed with a Naturia monster
Oh, it's specific.
specifically.
Okay, yeah,
Yep,
that.
yep.
Okay, then that. It would
That
be a
would be
little bit
fucked up.
of overlap. Yeah, but yeah, like it's that. Okay, that then fixes something. I was just like thinking like, imagine a board where you like have to deal with stuff like you have to worry about stuff like Bamboo Shoot, Shien, Barkion, Beast, like all of that stuff, and you're trying to play
Oh.
through that shit in fucking 2011. Like, what the
Like
fuck are we doing here?
important note, your opponent cannot play against Barkion, Beast, and Bamboo Shoot at the same time because Bamboo Shoot is just Barkion and Beast
I mean, yeah,
on
it
legs. Like,
obviously does just both of them, and
yeah, you
it
just
just
can't play the
exists.
game with those.
But it's like at that point, it's like, okay, you deal with one of them, then you just have to deal with the rest of the bullshit. It's
Yeah.
it's messed up.
Let's say you summon Raiko, you ram your Raiko into bamboo, shoot and activate Honest, and then you go like, well, now I go into my main phase 2, and your opponent's like, yeah, I still got 6 trap negates and an infinite amount of spell negates. Go.
Before I almost forgot, but this is where you can make your John, which is I almost forgot. Next time is finally time for another structure deck episode, which is gonna be Machina versus Dragoonity. And since you lost today, Jeexx, which one would you like to pick?
Ah, yes. Nobody will see this coming. I have not mentioned this multiple times so far, but I will be going with Machina.
I have expected you to be like, just to be an agent of chaos, Dragoonity.
Just to be, yeah, just to actually wait. If you think about it, Dragoonities has a Dragon Ravine in it. That could
Yeah.
be fun.
And it's
Good,
most
but
definitely also has access to all the stuff in the extra deck. Smile, because surely
Smile.
they wouldn't not put a single synchro in it. Smile.
Important note, by the way. Phalanx isn't even in the structure deck, for example.
Yeah, it's the structure deck is missing a lot. I do think, I mean, Machina Fortress is one hell of a card, and I do think
Absolutely.
Machina is the more powerful deck, but I still think there's enough like interesting stuff for me in Dragoonid, and I still like the general playstyle that I probably like. I would have still picked Dragoonid regardless because it's just one of my like more favorite archetypes. So the result
I
for that
think
didn't matter, but yeah, it's dealing with Machina Fortress is gonna be a pain.
I think the fact that your deck has access to quite a bit of decent like spell traps is really important. Like
Yeah, the
bottomless
back
is in
row
here.
in there is good. Like it's
Yeah,
really good actually. It's
I
just
think it'll be interesting because of that.
the biggest problem is just like, okay, is there enough in the emotional lineup that you can do something with the good spell trap package? But I do agree, like the back row package in the set is, or rather the deck is actually really good.
I mean, if we think about it, you can make a really good grind deck out of this probably because you have access to so many decent cards that will let you set up the graveyard, that will let you summon shit out of the graveyard, and if you happen to get into it, Arm Dragon level 5 and Arm Dragon level 7 are
There
kind of a
is
menace.
no Arm Dragon level 7 in that, and as we've established, we cannot add outside cards into structure deck episodes.
Right.
It's
That's
only Arm
unfortunate.
Dragon level 5. Yeah. It would have been very
Ah,
cool,
yes.
but yeah, unfortunately, it's only 3 and 5. But
Well,
we can still make something out of it for sure. Now I'm very excited about it. I feel like it's been, how long has it been since our last structure deck? Like actually,
oh,
was it zombie
I
structure?
think,
No, okay. Oh,
yeah.
it was.
Oh yeah, worse.
It was Warrior Strike and Spellcaster Command, which
That's 2 years ago.
that sure was. That sure was an episode that we played. Yep.
Yeah, that was a good episode. I like that
Yeah,
episode.
it
I
was.
like the part where you ate shit.
Handyman looked cool though.
Yeah, it didn't. Did it?
It did, and it still
Did it?
does. But you can remember, kids. It doesn't matter how cool you look if you eat. If if
Where
you
are you going with this?
nobody looks cool eating shit, so you'd rather not eat shit and look bad than eat shit, look cool, bad,
Just,
bad. Yes.
just look cool while eating.
Don't do that. Don't eat shit is the if you take one thing away from today's episode, don't be a Jeexx, don't eat shit, and yeah. We'll see y'all next time for the structure deck episode with Dragoonity and Machina, and hopefully you enjoyed the very heated episode today. Very drama filled, so hopefully we'll catch y'all next time, and we'll see you there. So have a good one, y'all, and peace.